a living being, an entity, a human who had the nerve to ask me after all this time if I would be a stripper. So, in order for there to be absolutely zero doubt, I'm going to produce this video to officially stamp in the record whether or not I would, because apparently it needs to be said or else there is doubt. So, would I be a stripper? And the answer that I was expecting, apparently expecting these days is just a lot. It's a big matter. Is hell no. Now, let's supply the reasons. First of all, I would expect that the impulse thought that comes to mind is, of course not. Just look at her. She just never expresses herself or behaves in a way that would suggest that she would be into this thing. And of course, she never reveals anything, like, particularly with the way I dress, especially. So, I guess the worst thing I have worn that can be kind of provocative has to be there was a video about the seasons that I posted. It was probably the first summer vlog or first spring or autumn vlog, one of those. And I had a top that was, I think it had like spaghetti straps in it. And I never showed that much skin at any given time. So, and I remember I was wearing shorts, but you guys never see anything beyond my upper body. So, anyways, but to really get into the reasons why I wouldn't do it, first, it's not my thing. It's just something that I'm not personally comfortable with. So, the fact that I'm just not comfortable like that would automatically make me not ever do it. Like, I'm just a very reserved person. So, for me, stripping in the presence of someone, it has to be an intimate type of deal. Someone who I'm intimately involved with. So, a boyfriend or a husband when the time comes, stuff like that. And to tell you the truth, I have never ever fully not had clothes on in front of anybody. That's something that I would like to reserve for marriage. That's one thing. So whether I'm single or married, just stripping is just not my thing. Whether it be partial or completely, like, I just can't do it. Second, in my perception of it is that it's kind of rude. It's immoral. Like, I was just raised better, brought up better, and I don't need to be making a show out of my body. I just don't believe in that. Like, I feel like I owe myself respect, and one of the easiest, simplest ways to do that is by reserving myself when it comes to that. And I am pretty sure that no man out there who I'm involved with would appreciate the fact that more than one person is observing that, you know? So, also, I don't consider it an honorable way of making a living. So, I have read of stories of women who say, "Oh, I had to do it because I had no other choice." Da 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 da. This is probably going to be a controversial opinion of mine, but I don't believe that. There is always a way to do something. There are supermarkets, there are post offices, there are greeters, Walmart always needs greeters. There's there's just so many things to do to make a dollar, so many ways to make income, and you resort to that. I don't believe that you don't have a choice. Like, but like I said, I don't go through that. I guess I am very blessed to not have to go through that. I would have to meet someone who does that to ask them, what makes you do this? Um, do you really not have a choice? Or where do you live? Where do you come from? That this is the way it has to be, you know? Um, but honestly, at least in the society that I live in, which, unless I state that I am having an opinion on another culture, anytime I make a video, it's based on my personal experience, based on my society, what surrounds me, my culture, because I bet that some people out there might say, oh, if you go to a different country, then stuff is not the way that you think. I don't live in that other country, so why does that matter? So keep that in mind while I express myself. But at least in the places that I have lived in this country, in the United States, I have not seen a place where that has to be the way things are, you know? Um, that, and also, I would hate for the people who know me to know that that's what I do, because they don't do it, and I am sure that they would think sort of similar to what I think. Um, so, me having to face them, it's going to inevitably put a strain on our friendship, or our, just whatever it is. Let it be a colleague or whatever. Um, Assuming that stripping is something that you do on the side, not a main job, you know? I don't want to have to go through that pressure because it's not who I am. And to me, as a woman, I feel like that's just not, it's not ladylike, you know? I was brought up with good values and just discipline. So I don't have the guts to do it, period. Like, I just can't do it. It's something that I'm reserving for, when the time is right. And it'll be an intimate type of deal. It's not that I'm going to pursue this as a career of some sort. No, it has to be someone I'm involved with, like a husband. Um, I can be boring, I can be old fashioned, I can be whatever it is, but that is never going to change about me. And if I ever find myself desperate for money or needing something, there is an alternative way to everything. And that doing that is just no, not happening. Because you guys out there don't need to be knowing what I'm about, what I look like, and all that. No, only my man should, you know, be exposed to that. Just saying. So, yeah, guys, honestly, that's it. It's really simple. It's not my style. It goes against my beliefs and discipline and whatever. And it's not something I'm comfortable with. And it's also something that I'm reserving until marriage. So, and who knows? Maybe when I'm married, I'm still not gonna have the guts to completely let go of all my clothes. so, um, anyways, it's just something that because I haven't gone through it and I really haven't thought about it, I just cannot see that far ahead into the future. But like I said, I'm just someone who taking my clothes off in someone's presence, it just doesn't happen. There are these people at the gym, like these girls at the locker room, that I freaking detest how they walk around with nothing. They get out of the shower and they go to the lockers, in front of the lockers, and they're completely, like, completely bare. I don't need to see that. There are dressing rooms. There are also stalls. if the dressing rooms are occupied. There's just no excuse for you to be wandering around. I know that we're all women in there, but I don't want to see that. I don't need to see that. I hate to see that. So anyways, let me see how you guys are tearing me apart in the comment section. I better hear some apologizing or at least some twerking. Boy, bye. Wait, so you're not streaming? Bummer. You guys. That's why I love you guys because had you guys been sending those comments back in the day, like I want to say back in my teenage years, I did not know what trolling or sense of humor was like. Like I would have been offended by all those things that you guys are saying, but it's actually making me giggle, especially because I anticipated this was coming. Intimate for you to strip him. Okay, I got to strategize this for this weekend. Sir, you know that at any time I can decide to leave the terminal and you simply do not find out. So you're asking for that. Okay, work as a greeter instead of stripping. Haha, I am rolling. Well, I would do it. I guess 99% of women wouldn't do that. They would think that stripping is the way. But I, Zamri, am saying that's not the way that I would go about it. And I love to be different. In fact, I like to be on the ship by myself because someone has to keep it together somewhere. Stripping would definitely pay better than greeting people at Walmart. Well, guess what? I can say with zero shame that my thirst for money is just not great enough. So, if people really want to make easy money, and like I said, easy money, that's on them. If I have to work double hard absurdly just to, like I said, remain moral about it, I will. I don't care if I'm broke for the rest of my life. At least I can go to bed every night knowing that I am comfortable with what I did. Whatever little bit of money I get to take home, I'm happy and comfortable, and I go to bed every night knowing that, you know, I earned it by working and being actually productive. Like, just being an entertainer of that sort, to me, is not productive. Say, if I were a successful YouTuber, this is a form of entertainment, right? But at least I feel like the content that I produce may benefit someone. I share my experiences of, say, the struggles in life, my growth, and things that I think people can benefit from. That's why I put it out there. If I didn't think people could benefit in any way from what I'm making, I wouldn't make it. Occasionally, I want to break from the routine and I produce something that's more like a video album. Like, anytime I make a video, I post it here. Um, and I like cars. So I like my car. So that's why I filmed that little random thing earlier. Because sometimes, just talking, sitting here and talking is just not fun. So, like, sometimes. So I'm like, I noticed the salt and I'm like, let's make a video out of this. Because normally I would take a picture and upload it to Twitter and that's the end of it. But I said, let me do something different. Let me film this. So, but although it's a video that you cannot really benefit from, like I said, it's just something for me, something personal, and I'm proud to show it. It's like, I'm not afraid of going into 28-degree weather and just cleaning my car out with water, you know? So, again, I started rambling, but if women really want to make money quickly and that's their way of doing, that's up to them. But for me, I want to have a precedent of I respected myself and I received respect in return. Because, like I said, um, in this case, relationships is something that I take very seriously. To me, my relationship with my boyfriend is super important. So, in the present, he would not appreciate that I'm a stripper. And if I were to be single and then begin to date and they ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm going to have to lie about that. And I don't want to be in that situation. You might say, well, not necessarily. You don't have to lie. I mean, but for me, I would feel compelled to because that would be a massive turnoff. I can tell that's going to be a turnoff. So, you guys, if you've been in my channel for a long time, you know that my solution to issues is preventing them. So, if I can see disaster happening in my future, and I can prevent it in my present, I will do it. I think that's what responsible people do. So I don't need to have that kind of fun, or that doesn't have to be my way of making a living. So, like I said, I would rather just be broke but have my integrity intact than, you know, it's just not me. It's not something I can do. That's like asking a vegan to work at the meat department. So, yeah, that bad. The strippers in my town be bawling, but hey, I have a man's mindset, so I see nothing wrong with it. Well, there you go. But then again, most women today have a stripper mindset as well. Well, I guess I am the one of those weirdos, like the part of the breed that's still sane, I guess. But that is just not me. Not me. Um, Yes, they do. Most chicks will sell their souls for attention, and in my opinion, stripping or being a model is the highest form of it. Hey Zamri, I'm gonna roll out, but all jokes aside, I think you're going to have mad fun with me on Sunday. I'm pretty sure I'll have fun on Sunday too, because the way that you express yourself, it's like, oh my god, nothing but fun. So I look forward to it. Um, and then let's see. When it comes to being a model, I don't mind being a model that's what can I say? Like I like hair models. Like I'm always browsing magazines sometimes to get ideas for my hair, but I never really apply it. The only thing I apply is if I straighten it, I try to figure out how to tie it. I don't want to do just a boring um, ponytail type of deal, So how can I bobby pin it or just crazy things like that? Um, Also, modeling clothes. I would love to be a model for sports clothing. I absolutely love it. Ever since I was a middle schooler. So that kind of modeling, I don't have a problem with. But if it were asking me to do bikini stuff, I can't do that. I haven't worn a legit bathing suit since I was nine, 9 years old. Yeah. So usually what I do is I wear like the say I wear the bathing suit, but I'm not exposing it. So usually I wear my bathing suit and then swimming trunks and long sleeve shirts that are for like surfing, and it provides UV protection. So that's how serious about me not showing skin in public in excess I am. So yeah, it's just not me. And also, I like to protect myself from the elements. So I just cannot be not wearing much in public. And even if I'm in a building, let's face it, the places where strippers are at, there's people constantly drinking and smoking. I don't need to have that scent, and I don't need to be in that type of environment. That's just it. So, well, you guys, there you have my answer. If you are disappointed by my mindset, it ain't gonna change the way I am. If you agree with me, then great. But that's really the way I look at it. It may be really old fashioned, it may be really old school, but to me, it's important to take care of myself and respect myself. And one of the best things I can do for myself is create a good precedent And this is definitely one of those things. So, yeah, because imagine if I did that for years and it was my full time job and I start applying for other places and I have to explain what I was doing that whole time between my current job and then this other stuff. Like I said, lying is going to mess you up sooner or later, and that's something that I'm not willing to do. Nah, the world needs a few good girls. Well, I appreciate that. I'm really doing my best to be decent. I know I'm not going to be perfect. I will mess something up. But at least I want to make the best decisions that I can now and make it into a routine so that it's not difficult for me to distinguish between right and wrong, which it should be common sense, but we know that not everybody sticks to their values. So I actually like old fashioned, I can't respect anything less. There you go. You inspire me. All right, guys, I'm going to close this stream and I may come back in a second. I'm just going to look at my clipboard and see if there's something that I want to address right now, or if I'll just bail for the night. But I'll probably be back because I'm in a talkative mood. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you in a moment. Question mark, question mark.